the ultimate express bowl of ramen noodles you've ever made at home with pan-fried dumplings and crispy fried chicken. What could be better? Okay guys, so traditional Japanese ramen, totally a labor of love, takes a long time, but we're gonna make an express version today that I think you'll be very happy with. And the first thing we're gonna do is make our epic ramen broth. And we need to start with some chicken. So can I say, I really think chicken thigh for this one, guys. We're gonna use some of the chicken fat from multiple things throughout this recipe, and you just won't get the same kind of chicken fat from the chicken breast. And you just want a little bit of oil in your pan, and then get some salt on these guys. You always season your meat really well before frying it. So once that oil is hot, get your chicken pieces in there. Now, you'll notice that I'm frying this chicken in quite a deep pot. This is going to be our stock pot, but it also means we're not going to get too much chicken splatter or fat splatter all over our bench tops, because who likes to do the cleaning up? Not me. So there is method to the madness. Okay, let's take a look at our chicken and check out that beautiful golden color. Okay, so just flip those chicken pieces over and continue cooking until that chicken's all the way cooked through. Okay, so we're gonna take the chicken out. Now, save that chicken for later. We're gonna put that on top of our ramen. Okay, now take a look at the magic that's happened in the bottom of this pan. So we have a whole bunch of chicken fat, so I'm gonna pour that out because we're gonna use that to fry our gyoza in. And then left in the bottom, you can see all these little sticky brown bits. That is pure flavor, guys. Leave that in there. We're gonna use that as the base of our stock. So get that back on the heat, add in some sliced garlic and some sliced ginger. Get that sizzling and really use your spoon to kind of scrape up all those bits and pieces from the bottom of the pan. And now just after a couple of minutes, don't let that garlic burn. I'm gonna add in my chicken stock, and this is store-bought chicken stock. If you've got homemade, go ahead and use that, but this is a great way to really trick up a store-bought stock. And again, just scrape up the bottom of that pan. And now some additional flavoring. I've got some soy sauce and some mirin. So this is like a Japanese cooking wine, and it's got a little bit of sweetness to it. If you want to keep this alcohol free, you can just leave it out, no need to substitute, but I do like the little bit of extra flavor that it brings. And now I've got some shiitake mushrooms here. These were dried, and I've just had them soaking in some hot water for about 10 minutes. We want to use the mushroom and the liquid, because that soaking liquid is full of mushroomy flavor. So I'm gonna squeeze the mushroom a little bit, and just this stalk part in the middle, the stem, that part's kind of really hard and tough, so I always like to take it out. And then just slice these mushrooms in half. And they go into the stock as well. And now, miraculously, guys, this is only gonna take 10 minutes. A 10-minute simmer, and we're gonna have the most amazing broth. So while the broth is doing its thing, let's pan fry our gyoza. Now take that chicken fat that we saved from earlier, pour that into a pan. Just because you might not have a huge amount of chicken fat, totally depends on the kind of chicken that you've used. I like to add just a little bit of butter as well. I know it's unconventional, but the butter really does help to brown and crisp everything up on the bottom. Now once that's hot, I'm gonna put these gyoza straight in, and I'm just using store-bought frozen gyoza, and I'm putting them in straight from frozen. Now you want to let these guys get super crispy on the bottom before we touch them. So just let them go for a few minutes. Now just have a look at that beautiful color. Oh, I'm too excited already. Okay, so let's just add a little bit of water to the pan, because what we want to do now is steam the tops of the gyoza. Get water in and get a lid straight on top, and just let those steam for a few minutes until they're cooked through. Okay, let's take a look at our broth. Oh, it's smelling divine. So I'm just gonna strain it out. You guys won't believe the flavor in this after only 10 minutes. Now don't waste those mushrooms. We wanna keep those because they're super tasty. Okay, now pour your broth back into a clean saucepan. And then one final little addition to make everything even more magical in here, we're gonna add some miso paste. So this is a shiro miso or a white miso paste. Now the trick here is that a big lump of miso often will not dissolve properly in the stock. So I like to get 2 spoons and I just kind of smush the miso together and just help it along its way. So next up, let's finish off our gyoza. Right, so let's have a look. Oh, those gyoza are looking good. Now I'm just going to take the lid off and let them just sizzle a little while without the lid on, just to dry them off a little. Make sure they're really nice and crispy. So now the noodles, and I'm really lucky because here in Bangkok I can get fresh ramen noodles. If you can get the same, please go ahead and do it. Otherwise, any kind of vacuum sealed, pre-prepared ramen noodle that you can get a hold of, use those. So I'm just going to pop these into some water. And the key to cooking ramen noodles always is don't overcook them. It's like cooking pasta. Really needs to be on point. And the only way to test, go to taste them. They have just a little bit of bite through the center, and they're going to keep cooking because they're going to be warm. We're going to put a hot broth on top. So I'm going to get them straight out and into my serving bowls. Now you're going to pour that hot broth all over the top of those. Oh, this is smelling so good, guys. And now some of that sliced crispy chicken, some gyoza, and don't forget one of those mushrooms. And then of course for me, a ramen bowl would not be complete without a beautiful soft boiled egg, and then a little bit of spring onion. Now some people would say, gyoza, fried chicken, ramen, it's too much. I say, just go with it. Perfection. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you've got any questions, pop them down below. And if you liked it, why not hit subscribe and that little bell button so you always find out when I'm releasing new delicious recipes. Thank you.